Imagine losing everything you've ever known, the warmth of a home, the familiar scent of your loved ones, the sound of their voices calling your name. One moment you're safe, surrounded by love, and the next, you find yourself abandoned in a world that no longer makes sense. This is the story of Max, a loyal golden retriever, whose world was turned upside down in a matter of seconds. But what no one expected was what happened next. A journey so incredible, so impossible, that even scientists were left baffled. Max wasn't just a dog. He was a symbol of something greater, something unexplainable, a force of love that defied all odds. His story didn't just warm hearts. It left people questioning the very nature of loyalty, instinct, and perhaps even fate itself. It all began on a cold autumn afternoon when Max's owner, Jake, was forced to relocate for work. The move was sudden, and his new apartment complex had strict rules. No pets allowed. Heartbroken but left with no choice, Jake found Max a new home with a distant relative in a town nearly 500 miles away. It wasn't an easy decision, but Jake convinced himself it was for the best. Max, however, didn't understand. One moment, he was curled up at Jake's feet, and the next he was watching him walk away, disappearing beyond the horizon. Days passed, then weeks, but the new place never felt like home. Max refused to eat properly, barely responded to his new caretakers, and every night he would sit by the door waiting, hoping. And then, one fateful night, he did the unthinkable. He ran. No one knows exactly what triggered Max's escape. Maybe it was the sound of the wind whispering through the trees calling him back. Maybe it was an instinct buried deep within, an unshakable force urging him forward. But what is undeniable is that Max was on a mission no one believed he could survive. The journey ahead was treacherous. Miles stretched endlessly before him, roads twisted like labyrinths, and dangers lurked in every shadow. He faced starvation, exhaustion, and storms that would have broken even the strongest of creatures. But Max kept going. He followed scents, traced the echoes of distant voices, and somehow, against all logic, found his way across forests, rivers, highways, and cities, always moving in the right direction. Along the way, people began to notice the lone traveler. Some offered food, others tried to capture him, hoping to return him to safety. But Max had no interest in stopping. The few times he was taken in, he would escape again, his eyes fixed on an unseen destination. News of the mystery dog began to spread. Sightings popped up across towns, each one more unbelievable than the last. A farmer swore he saw a golden retriever trudging through the fields, refusing to rest, even as rain poured from the heavens. A truck driver claimed he nearly hit a dog matching Max's description, only to watch him disappear into the night like a ghost. Animal control officers tried tracking him, but Max was always one step ahead. It was as if an invisible map guided him, as if he knew exactly where he needed to go. As the days stretched into weeks, the journey became harder. Hunger clawed at his belly, and fatigue weighed down his limbs. There were nights when the cold seeped into his bones, when the loneliness threatened to break him. But every time he closed his eyes, he saw Jake's face, heard his voice calling him home. It gave him strength when his body had none left. He found shelter where he could, in abandoned barns, under bridges, in the thick underbrush of the woods. Strangers continued to marvel at his determination. A woman in a small town left food on her porch after spotting him limping through the streets. A child, drawn to his gentle eyes, tried to coax him inside, but Max simply licked his hand before disappearing once again into the unknown. One stormy night, Max found himself at the edge of a swollen river. The bridge that once stood there had collapsed, leaving only a treacherous path of jagged rocks and rushing water. Exhausted and desperate, Max hesitated for the first time. The rain pounded against his fur, the wind howled in his ears. But then, as if guided by an unseen force, he took the leap. The icy water pulled him under, but Max fought against the current, kicking with every ounce of strength left in his body. After what felt like an eternity, he clawed his way onto the shore, drenched and trembling but alive. The river had tried to take him, but his journey wasn't over yet. As Max neared his final stretch, his body was battered, but his spirit remained unbroken. He crossed highways under the cover of darkness, dodging speeding cars that could have ended his journey. In an instant, In one terrifying moment, he found himself cornered by a pack of wild coyotes. Their growls sent shivers down his spine, but Max refused to back down. Instead of running, he stood his ground, letting out a deep, warning bark. The standoff lasted mere seconds, but it felt like an eternity. Then, as if sensing the unbreakable resolve in his eyes, the coyotes backed away, fading into the night. Weeks turned into months. Max encountered more obstacles, predators lurking in the woods, highways teeming with fast-moving cars, and nights so cold he could barely move. But with every hardship, he learned, adapted, and kept moving forward. One night he stumbled upon a pack of stray dogs. Weary and weak, Max found himself surrounded. Instead of attacking, the dogs, sensing his exhaustion, allowed him to rest among them. For a few days, Max found companionship, sharing warmth and food scraps they scavenged. But his mission wasn't over. As soon as he regained his strength, he left them behind, his heart leading him in one direction: home. Jake, unaware of Max's incredible journey, had never stopped thinking about his best friend. Every night he regretted his decision. Every morning he wished he had fought harder to keep him. And then one evening something extraordinary happened. As Jake returned home from work, he noticed a familiar shape lying by his doorstep. His heart stopped. It couldn't be. But as he stepped closer, he saw the truth. Thin, exhausted, and covered in dirt, Max lifted his head and wagged his tail weakly. Tears streamed down Jake's face as he dropped to his knees, pulling Max into his arms. Somehow, against every law of nature, every rule of logic, Max had found his way home. Scientists debated how it was possible. Some believed dogs possess an advanced form of magnetic navigation. Others suggested it was sheer luck. But those who witnessed it knew the truth. Max wasn't guided by science. He was guided by love. Max's story spread across the country. News outlets covered his miraculous journey. People from all over sent messages of support, and researchers attempted to study the mystery behind his impossible feat. But for Jake, none of that mattered. What mattered was that Max was home, and this time, nothing, no rule, no circumstance would ever separate them again. Because sometimes love isn't just an emotion. Sometimes love is the force that defies distance, time, and even reason. And Max, he was living proof that love always finds a way. And so the story of Max continued, not just in the hearts of those who heard it, but in every lost pet that found its way home, in every person who learned the true depth of a dog's loyalty, and in every journey that reminded the world that love, no matter the distance, will always find a way. Max became a legend, his tale passed down through generations, a reminder that sometimes the greatest journeys are taken not with maps, but with hearts that refuse to give up on the ones they love.